friends, it has been quite some time since I have sat down to film any videos, but in true fashion as to how I like to do things here on this channel, I am finally getting around to sharing my candle empties from the month of May with you. Now, most YouTubers or most content creators upload this video at the end of every month, but life has been extremely busy for me, good, but busy, and typically I just don't get around to filming this video until about a good week, 2 weeks into the following month. So typically what I have done in the past is as I use up a candle, will take some B-roll and I'll write down some notes about that candle and how it performed for me, the fragrance notes and whatnot, and I will insert that in here as I talk about them. But I did finish up quite a few candles like right in those final few days of May, and so I actually still have quite a few of them in my possession, so it'll make it a little bit easier, maybe quicker for me to give you reviews on all of these. If you're like me, I love empties videos because I feel like they are the most solid reviews. You know how a candle has burned completely all the way through. Were there any deviations from the strength and throw as the burn progressed? So let's go ahead and not waste any more time. Make sure that if you like this video, please hit that thumbs up button. If you find yourself wanting to stick around for more of my content, hit the subscribe button, and let's go ahead and dive into this empties. If any of the candles that I am talking about are currently available, I will make sure to have them linked in the description box down below. I am an ambassador for both Kringle and Homeworx candles. It does not influence how I give my reviews. I'm always very honest. But if you would like to use my discount code, that is an affiliate code. I do make a small commission, and I just want to say thank you so much for supporting my channel if you choose to use it, and if not, that's perfectly fine. You're still welcome here. The first candle that I burned during the month of May was Valencia Orange. Now this came in a duo from QVC. I believe it was a QVC exclusive because I didn't recall seeing it on the homeworx.shop website. I really liked this fragrance. Now this one burned all the way down. I mean, like barely any wax left in the vessel. The strength and throw on that one was about a 7. The pour date on there was October 8th of 2022. The fragrance notes on that were Valencia Orange, sugared lemon, glazed vanilla bean, and sweet amber. Now I do have another one of these in my collection because it did come in a duo. I'm still debating if I'm going to light it up this summer or hold on to it for next summer, but this is a very nice fragrance. It's very much a fresh, juicy orange to me. The orange note, I have said this before if you caught last month's empties, I believe that the orange note that they are using in this Valencia Orange is the same one that they use in the orange creamsicle candle. That one has a slight little bit more creaminess to it, but I feel like this orange pairs very, very nicely with any other citrus candles that you might have. It would be a repurchase for me because I really liked it, but like I said, it's not one that I felt like I needed to run out and buy multiples of because while I liked it, it was not an extremely unique scent. I do like orange fragrances, so again, would repurchase it. All right, Kiwi Margarita. Now this one was a pour date from October 10th of 2021. So this was actually a holdover from last summer. Typically I try to get all of my candles burned in one season, but sometimes that just does not happen. And when that doesn't happen, but I like the fragrance, I will just go ahead and stash it in my closet. This one was a pretty good burn, almost all the way to the bottom. I will say that the strength and throw on this particular pour was about a 5. It was not overly strong. I feel like maybe this was the beginning of when we were really seeing some issues pop up with Homeworx. You know, I felt like for me personally, a lot of the issues with Homeworx candles that I experienced in 2022, I started noticing in the spring of 2022. So I feel like this might have been one of the first pours where things were just, something was awry with Homeworx. I do feel like they are turning the ship around. I will say that, but this one was about a 5. The fragrance notes on that were chilled melon, Caribbean lemon, crushed mint, and sparkling sugar water. I actually really liked that fragrance because it was not one that I feel like I smell when I walk into Bath & Body Works all the time or any other candle brands. It's not really one that it seemed like overly fruity. I actually really enjoyed it. Is it one that I would say was a must-have and a repurchase for me? No, it wasn't. There was a slight like effervescence to that candle. In fact, I think I did do a dedicated review on that one last year. pretty sure I did on that. It was good, it was nice, but it just wasn't one that I really felt like I needed to have in my stash. Glad I burned it though. All right, here's one that I bought multiples of. This is Homeworx Banana Maple Pancakes. Now, I picked up more of these last year when a friend of mine came across them at, I want to say it was TJ Maxx. My local TJ Maxx, Home Goods, Marshalls has been pathetic. I am so envious of everybody who finds these like treasure troves of Homeworx candles, because mine, they've been pretty much null. But I did finish burning this one last month. The strength and throw on this was a solid 8. Now the pour date on that one was March 5th of 2022. The fragrance notes on that are mashed bananas, whipped milk, melted butter, vanilla extract, and fluffy pancakes. This is honestly one of my favorite gourmand fragrances from Homeworx. I absolutely love it. I have one more in my stash. In fact, it is in the lineup to burn. This is one that I feel like would do pretty well year round. Don't quote me, but I feel like this is a candle that is typically released later on in summer. I feel like it's one of those ones that they kind of tease with early fall releases. I genuinely hope that Homeworx brings this candle back going into the fall of 2023, because this is a beautiful fragrance. Now, banana to me is more of a summer scent, which is why I don't really burn it in the fall. I like to burn it this time of year. It's a great morning scent for me. It does have that fluffy pancake note to it. The banana is not like your Runts candied banana to my nose. It is definitely more of an authentic banana type of fragrance. It's not overly sweet. You get a little bit of that maple note in there, but it's not cloying maple. Like I said, it is one of my favorite gourmand scents from Homeworx, and they really need to bring it back, because I think that I am not alone in that sentiment. Sticking with a pancake theme here, chocolate chip banana pancakes. Now this one did I do a dedicated review on this? No, I don't think I did. No, I think I talked about it in my Saturday 6 series, and I talked about that one specifically in the month of April, because that is a candle that it benefits the Next for Autism charity. Like Harry Slatkin, I also have a child on the autism spectrum, so I was glad to support that cause. Now here's where, unfortunately, I don't know, let me tell you about this one. So the pour date on this candle was July 9th of 2022. And I think that that's really important for you to know, because pretty much every candle I purchased last year with a June or July pour date from Homeworx struggled immensely for me. I had significant issues with wicks. I had significant issues with strength and throw. So I say that with that caveat, because I don't want to dissuade people from purchasing this candle, especially because it's tied to such a good cause. However, I am just saying that that pour date was not good for me. Now, I did purchase that candle, I want to say last September, maybe. It was when it was close to when it was first released. So you're pretty safe now, I think, if you were to go ahead and purchase this candle going forward. I think that you would not endure a lot of the same struggles that I did with this candle, but just being honest with you. The strength and throw at tops for that one for me, I had to use a hurricane to get it to be maybe a 5. Without a hurricane, I could barely smell it. It was about a 3, 4. It was not very strong for me at all. The fragrance notes on that are fresh ripe banana, dark chocolate chips, vanilla pancake batter, and brown butter. So I really liked that fragrance. If we're just gonna talk about the fragrance on the whole, I really liked it. It was banana forward. It was not really authentic banana like the banana maple pancakes. This one was more, a little bit slightly more candied banana to my nose. Just a hint of that chocolate chip in the background, which to me, I was okay with, because I have said this before, chocolate in candles sometimes can come off almost like burned cigarette smell to my nose. I don't know why, but it just does. And so chocolate, I can usually have some hesitancy with. But this one, that chocolate note didn't come off that way. And it was very, very, very light in the background. It was definitely more of a banana forward scent. So I would say that if you can get this one on a good sale, definitely take a leap on it. If you like banana fragrances, if you like banana gourmand fragrances, I would say go ahead and take a leap on it. But just letting you know that I did have some problems with it, which I personally attribute more so to the pour date. All right, now we can jump into some candles that I actually have right here in front of me. So this is Country Candles Blue Raspberry. Now this is in their new 100% soy lineup for Country Candle. Previously to this spring, most of the Country candles were in a paraffin wax, and now they are going to transition most of their line, or actually all of their line. I believe the plan is to transition those over to a 100% soy formula. So this fragrance, unfortunately, I'm sorry, I don't have the fragrance notes in front of me. This one still has a slight little amount of fragrance to it. I could probably stick it in the crock and maybe get another day. Although I will say that when I put candles in the crock, they get to a point where I can start to smell almost like a waxy scent to it, even if I can still smell the fragrance. And so I typically will pull my candles when I start to smell that. Anyways, this candle to me is very much like Airhead's raspberry candy. It's a very candied, sweet scent. I did enjoy it. Now, the reason that I stuck it in the crock is not because I was having sooting issues or anything like that. It is mainly because this one was pretty light on the strength and throw for me. I would say that when I was burning this candle in a hurricane, it was still only around a 4. What I am finding with some of these new Kringle and Country candles is that I'm having some variances in the strength and throw depending on where I'm at in the burn. So especially I want to say like the first burn on this one, I really struggled to smell it. I could smell it a little bit more second and third burns, but as you can see, I got about a third of the way into the burn and I just realized like this one is not going to be very strong. I had also heard from some of my other fellow candle lovers here on YouTube and on other various social media platforms that this one just was not strong for them. So I decided to go ahead and throw it in my candle crock. I don't think that this one will be a repurchase for me at this moment. Honestly, you guys, none of them am I going to repurchase right now because I'm pretty content with my summer collection. But this is one that I feel like maybe if they retouch a couple of things on it and maybe improve the formula, I would go ahead and give it another go next summer because it does smell really nice. If you want to pick it up this summer, Kringle is always running great sales, so I would probably wait for a good sale. They just had a really good one for Memorial Day. I don't have any insider info, but I do tend to notice that sales seem to coincide with major holidays. Here in the United States, we have Independence Day, the 4th of July coming up pretty soon, so I would not be surprised to see another sale roll around within the next month. Sticking with another Kringle candle, this is Beautiful Day. And look, you guys, I burned this one all the way down. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and try to get some B-roll of all of these so that way you can see. Now you will see that the wick moved over on this one, and that was just simply because I probably burned this one a little bit too long on the last burn. We do know that with these Kringle candles, this 100% soy formula, you can get away with burning these a little bit longer because they burn so cleanly. I don't ever have wick issues with it. I rarely ever have any kind of sooting issues. This one got a little bit of like a sooty scorch mark on it, but again, that was more so because this wick moved over. And once I saw it, I was like, oh boy, I gotta blow that out. But there's barely any wax left in this one. This is a really nice fruity floral type of fragrance. I would say it's more sweet fruity more than floral. It reminds me a little bit of a Victoria's Secret body care product that I used to use in the early 2000s. It's not Love Spell. The candle Spellbound is a dupe for that. If you like that fragrance, that's where you would find that one. But this reminds me of another fragrance that I used to buy from Victoria's Secret. Just very sweet and perfumey. It's a nice springtime candle. If you are not a seasonal burner, I think that you would probably enjoy this one if you like sweet, fruity, floral fragrances. But clean burn, and I liked that one a lot. Another Kringle candle that I pretty much got all the way through, I think I ended up sticking this in a crock to just get that final little bit out, because sometimes I get to a point with my candles where I have so many to get through, and sometimes I'm just like, okay, I'm kind of over this one. And so this is Kringle Candles Essentials. This is a dupe for the Capri Blue Volcano. Also, if you liked Bath & Body Works Sun Washed Citrus. I also feel like it's very similar to Bath & Body Works. I don't feel like I've seen Sun Washed Citrus back this year. I think they may have repackaged it, or it's very similar. It's called like Indigo something. It's very similar to it. So yeah, this one doesn't really have any more fragrance left on it. I would say that if you like those fragrances, go ahead and purchase this one because again, the burn is so clean on it. No issues at all. I would say the strength, oh, I forgot to say the strength and throw, you guys, I'm sorry. Strength and throw on that beautiful day was around a 5. It's not a powerhouse. I did get increased strength and throw when I put it in a hurricane, which I find pretty much across the board with most candles. This Essentials candle, again, this one probably around a 6. One of the things that I do appreciate about Kringle candles is that there's a few that can be real powerhouses, but I actually like that I know what I'm getting with them. I have a lot of people in my home for social gatherings or just other events that I have going on, and I never know sometimes how sensitive people are to fragrance. And so I don't always want something that is a knock you off your feet powerhouse candle when people walk into my home. I generally like them to be a nice background scent. So my sweet spot is usually around a 6 or 7 with candles. I can go even up to an 8, but I don't want anything that's going to be headache inducing, and I always want to be respectful of people coming into my home because I want them to say it smells nice in here, not wow, it's so fragranced that I'm having a headache now. So that Essentials one, I would say is around a 6 for me. You can get increased strength and throw with a hurricane. This is Amber Wood. Now this was a fragrance that I picked up, I want to say maybe, did I pick this up around Christmas time? I want to say it was in the winter that I picked this up. And one of the things over the last year that I have kind of gotten into, which has surprised me, is some candles that are typically a little bit more maybe boozy or stereotypically masculine. I know that it's not popular to say those things anymore, but I do think that it is a good reference point. People, when you say this is a masculine fragrance, you know that it's probably going to be a little bit more musky, maybe cologne-y. Now this one, I have said this one actually reminds me a bit of like rum and coke in a candle. There's a little element of booziness to this, but there's a sweetness to it as well. I actually really, really like this fragrance. It's a great nighttime fragrance, a great bedroom fragrance. This one again is about a 6 in terms of strength and throw. Burned cleanly all the way down, no issues at all with it. This would be a repurchase for me because I did enjoy it just as kind of like a little bit of a change up from all of the I don't know, fruitiness, I guess, of the last month that I have been burning. I liked burning this one in the evenings. This one also paired really nicely with like a vanilla type of scent. Just, I don't know, if you're looking for something a little bit different, going outside of your comfort zone, I would recommend that one. All right, let's talk about another Homeworx candle that I finished burning, and I don't believe that this one is available. I haven't seen this one come out. I want to say I didn't see it last year either, but this is Homeworx Pineapple Colada. So the pour date on the one that I have here is September 10th of 2021. This candle burned quite well for me. I did not have any issues with this one. The burn was very clean on it. You see that there is no sooting, no wick issues. This one was a very solid performer for me. I would say that this was about a strength of a 7 for me. So again, in that sweet spot. What I smell on this is pineapple forward. There's the sweetness. I don't want to say, I don't even really detect booziness in this. I smell a little bit more booziness like in that macadamia Mai Tai. This is a very nice pineapple fragrance if you like pineapple scents. It doesn't smell overly artificial to my nose, but I really, really enjoyed this one. I wish Harry would bring this one back because I really enjoy this in the summertime. That is my last one that I had in my stash. I do have some other pineapple candles that I am getting into, but that one is going to be missed because it was very well loved. All right, getting into these Kringle 3-wick candles. So these are new to the lineup. I feel like they started releasing 3 wicks maybe around Halloween, maybe. I feel like was when the first one started rolling out. So this first one that I finished up is Berry Clouds. Now I don't believe that this is a repackaged fragrance. I think that this is a completely new scent profile to the Kringle lineup. So the fragrance notes on this are juicy berries, tangy grapefruit, orange, and lemon zest. This one burned very cleanly for me, no issues. I will say that this, like the country candles, their new 100% soy lineup here, I feel like there's some kinks that need to be worked out with the 3-wick 100% soy jars, meaning more so in terms of strength and throw, because I'm getting some variances in the performance depending on the fragrance profile. So, which I guess I could come to expect that. We know that certain oils, I'm sure, are a lot easier to give a stronger throw or a stronger sillage. But this one was pretty good for me. This one was fairly strong. I would give this one about an 8. I really liked pairing this one with their coconut blueberry tart, or if you have jelly donut, I really liked pairing it with that. The berry note is most prominent to my nose. It's kind of like a blueberry and maybe some kind of like red berry, like a raspberry note in here. I get a little bit of zestiness from citrus, but this is a very berry forward fragrance. I think that the name Berry Clouds suits it well. I really enjoyed this one. I'm not going to get another one this summer, but it is one that I would consider purchasing again next summer. And then another fragrance here that I enjoyed, this was, I think it's called In Love. The bottom here, it got a little bit wonky. But the fragrance notes on this are dewy pear, pomelo, palm leaf, baobab, not sure if I pronounced that correctly, lotus blossom, fern, hinoki wood, and tolu balsam. Now that's a lot of fragrance notes in there, and to be quite frank with you, I don't even know what all of those scents smell like on their own. I like this fragrance. When I initially got it, it's very, very sweet. It almost reminds me, not quite of bubblegum, but in my mind, if I were to think of like a bubblegum fragrance, this is kind of what I would think. It's very sweet, but it's also grounded a little bit. In fact, I really enjoyed burning this alongside the blue raspberry fragrance, or you can blend this with like a vanilla to give just kind of almost like a cotton candy type of fragrance. It's a very candied type of scent. I enjoyed it. It again was a little bit outside of my wheelhouse. I would say that this one was not as strong as the Berry Clouds. This one was a little bit more of like a 5 without a hurricane. This, like I said, that Berry Clouds was pretty strong, and it got even stronger when I put it in a hurricane. But one of the things that I am finding with these new 100% soy 3 wicks, with the exception of that Berry Clouds, what I am finding is that oftentimes I get pretty good strength and throw after about 3 burns on it. And then the next, like maybe 3 or 4 burns are pretty good, or I would say until I get to about that 1/3 of the way mark. Once I hit that 1/3 of the way to go, you know, like I have a 1/3 of the wax pool left in the canister. Boy, I'm getting crazy here. Once I have about a 1/3 left in the vessel of wax, I am finding that the strength and throw is dissipating quite a bit. It seems to fall off. So I know that Kringle sometimes watches these videos, so that's just some of my feedback that I have for them. Maybe just, I don't know if you've got to go back to the lab and tweak the formula a little bit, but I'm finding that my performance is pretty good once I get about a 1/3 of the way in. That like the 2/3 of the burn is really, really great performance, and then it tapers off pretty badly at the end. So, you know, but then I always say you can always stick it back into a crock if you want to get that final amount of fragrance oil out of it. You could do that, but just giving my honest experiences here. So this last one that I purchased was Lime Lullaby, or not purchased, but finished, Lime Lullaby. Now, I believe that this is a repackage of, is it apple, basil, and cilantro? I'll have it listed in the description box down below, but this is a repackage of a fragrance that has already been in the Country Candle lineup for quite some time. And I actually had a daylight of that and was really excited to see that that fragrance was released in a soy version because I'm not a fan of paraffin wax. So when this became available, I did pick it up. Again, this one burned pretty well for me all the way down. This is a really nice fragrance. So the fragrance notes on it are lime, tea, verbena, mint, peach, and pear. This is a lime forward fragrance to me, although it is not like a key lime pie. It's not, this is very much, I get that verbena note in here. There's like a floralness with the lime. Tea, I'm not really sure what fragrances would make up that accord, but I do get a little bit, now that I smell it, there's a little bit more of an herbaceous note to this. It's lime forward, but it's herbal. I guess that's the best way that I can describe it. I actually really like this one. It was a fragrance that I enjoyed burning, particularly if I had cooked like Mexican food or something that had a little bit like heavier lingering odors in my kitchen. This is a great kitchen candle. It just kind of clears the senses, a great palate cleanser. I would repurchase this one because I really enjoyed it. Now again, this was a candle that I did need to put in a hurricane to get some increased strength and throw. Without a hurricane, this one was only about a 4. Once I put a hurricane on it, I would say that it jumped up to a 6.5, 7. So great scent, love the fragrance, and really happy that it is now available in that 100% soy. All right, and the last candle that I have for you is a Bath & Body Works candle. This is Sea Salt and Neroli. Now, as I am filming this, Bath & Body Works is having their semi-annual sale going on. I'm not sure if these are still available in store or online, but the fragrance notes on this are salted neroli blossoms, watery eucalyptus, fresh lemon zest. And I will say, this one I described as, I actually really like this. Now, this was a powerhouse candle for me. This one threw about a good solid 9 for me. Very, very strong candle. I did like pairing this one with, what's the one that I just got from Kringle that I really like? The Sea Salt and Tonka. This one gives me a little bit of nostalgic vibes because I did grow up in Southern California, and the route that I would normally take to get to the beach, there were a lot of orange groves along that drive, and so the mix, neroli is a flower, but it has kind of that orange blossoms, and this is a floral scent mixed with a little bit of that sea salt air. I really, really like it, but it's very strong. I would say that if florals give you a headache, or if you are not wanting something overly strong, then I would caution you on this one. But if you like a good powerhouse, this one was it. Now, I will say that it burned pretty, it burned well for me. I didn't have any wick issues. I didn't have any huge carbon balls, nothing like that. The wax did get pretty sooty about halfway through the burn, so I did end up burning this one in a hurricane because I wanted it to catch any excess soot, which of course then increased this to like a 10. I mean, it was very, very strong. But this is one that I would repurchase next year if they brought it back. I don't feel the need to buy backups of it, but it was a strong performer for me. And if you are somebody that likes kind of those florally beachy smells, then I would say go ahead and go for it. So that is it for my candle empties for this month. Like I said, I didn't get through as much because I did have some travel and all of the end of school year activities that my kids had going on. We were just in and out of the house, and so I just didn't find myself having enough time to burn candles as much as I would like. But let me know in the comment box down below if you have burned any of these candles, what your experience has been with them. Do you like empties videos? Because I find that I know that I do. They just are the best reviews, and I really look forward to them. Thank you so much for sticking with me. I do know that my uploading of content during the summertime gets a little bit more sporadic, and if you have been with me for a while, I've explained that it is because my children are home and it's a little bit more difficult for me to film with them home, and also our schedule just becomes a little bit more, I want to say lax. Sorry, there's a quail outside that's caught my eye there. My schedule becomes a little bit more, it's weird. There's not as much structure to our schedule, so we're just a little bit more spontaneous, and there's just been a lot of, let's come over and swim, or I don't know, just I really take this time in the summer to enjoy my family, take some little trips, just relax a little bit more. So I promise, if you don't see me for a while, it's not because I've disappeared. I try to stay on top of things over at Instagram, but my goal is to still upload at least one video a week for all of you guys. I have participated in the Bath & Body Works semi-annual sale. I placed an order last weekend, and at the time that I'm filming this, it still not has shipped, but when that all comes in, I do want to share my SAS haul with you. Honestly, you guys, I didn't go too wild. I feel like it's pretty realistic. Tried to keep within, a pretty realistic budget. So I do want to share that with you. I also have some new Homeworx candles on their way to me. I have, let me see, Kringle released their new fantasy collection earlier this week. I'm not sure if I'm receiving any of those candles in PR. Sometimes Kringle lets you know ahead of time, and other times they don't, and they just show up on your doorstep. I am on the West Coast, so I feel like if I am going to get any PR, it's probably going to be a lot later than my friends on the East Coast. Whether or not they send it to me, it would be nice, but I don't ever rely on it, and I'm just thankful if I do receive any. But if I do get any of it, I will make sure to share that with you. I believe that it is mermaid scales. There's a fairy one, and then there is a return of unicorn poop, which I just laugh. I know my younger two kids would get a kick out of seeing a candle with the word poop on it. They would laugh hysterically at that. So like I said, all of these candles, the ones that I just talked about, you can check them out in the description box down below. Just want to say one more time that if you like this video, hit that thumbs up button. It really helps me out. Subscribe. If you watch a lot of my videos and you have not yet hit that subscribe button, please do so. I have a goal this year of reaching 1,000 subscribers, and I'm well on my way, but I just would love it if you would hit that subscribe button. Again, thank you so much for spending your time here with me today, and until my next one, I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day. Bye.